You're locked into the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. This weekend is MotoAmerica Superbikes at New Jersey, our final round of 2025 for the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul here at New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville. Race 2 on deck after a very interesting day of racing for the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul. Welcome, everyone, to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, standing alongside two-time national champ Jason Pridmore. Now, Jason, yesterday it was dry all day until we got to this race, and so the riders had to go out on rain tires, and it was all Hank Vossberg.
Yeah, they came to the line in dry weather, and the next thing you know, while they were on the grid, it started raining. They got a little warm-up session, but this was the very start of the race. You see Vossberg trying to go up underneath Bodie Page. Bodie would fall over. Haven't heard yet, Greg, but he gives a thumbs up here, which is encouraging. Good to see that he will hopefully be back today. Vossberg wasn't without problems either. He got into a big tank slapper, but it was this pass for Derek Sanchez that would find him on the podium for the first time over Betancourt there. As you see Sam Drain finish second. But like you said, Greg, all Vossberg with the win.
So for Hank, a good win for him and a very popular podium for Sanchez. Here is New Jersey Motorsports Park. Tell us about it.
Yeah, fast front straightaway, Greg, and you'll be able to draft on these small bikes down into turn 1. 3A, B, and C are very tricky up over a little wheelie hill out of 3C. Fast turn 4. Time you get to 7, 8, 9, you're spending a lot of time on the tire, and you've got to decide, do I want to lead into there or run the risk of getting drafted out of that fast turn 12 to the line?
Sam Drain, Hank Vossberg, second in the championship and third. They're trying to duke it out. This is the final race to get it done. See you then.
Welcome back as we get ready for Talent Cup race number 2. Last race of the year for all these guys. Alessandro Di Mario was able to win the title this year, opened the door for a couple new guys to get their first podium this weekend. See Hank Vossberg, we talked about, he's already won a Twins Cup race. Now he won the race 1 yesterday. Now he's going to try to make it 3 in a row for him for the weekend. Derek Sanchez yesterday got his first podium, so it's going to see if he interesting if he can back that up in the dry conditions. It's going to be a totally different race today for all these guys, so they're not going to be able to know what the bike is going to do during race conditions. Ella Dreyer had a crash yesterday as well. There you see the 23 there. Derek Sanchez came from 8th on the grid yesterday to get on the podium. He's actually on Alessandro Di Mario's motorcycle. Cody Kopp yesterday was quick in the wet, but in the dry wasn't able to make any ground up from where he qualified. You see Bodie Page, we had a question mark whether he was going to get out there and race, but you can see the 65 right there ready to go. Nathan Betancourt, another local kid here, somebody to look out for. It was heartbreaking for him yesterday to be so close to the podium, but unfortunately he missed out toward the end. We mentioned Ella Dreyer. She's got a little work to do qualifying down there on the 3rd row. Jake Page making his first ever Talent Cup. That's Bodie Page's brother, starting 7th. And Carson King, haven't really mentioned a lot about him, but he's having a great weekend in dry conditions, qualifying 2nd on the grid in the middle of the front rows. We see somebody off the track right there. Don't want to do that with the overnight rain we had last night. As we get close to go race number 2, we're going to see if anybody can beat Hank Vossberg.
Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul is brought to you by Parts Unlimited, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket power sports parts and accessories. Parts Unlimited, we support the sport. By Motul, powering the future of racing. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Starting grid for the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul. And it's Vossberg, King, and Page.
And then we're going to have Sam Drain, Betancourt, and Cody Kopp there on row number 2. Page, Sanchez from podium yesterday. So let's see if Derek can back that up. Ella Dreyer, Fraley, Garcia, and Boudreau are going to be rounding out the field, Greg, there in row number 4. So a lot different conditions than we had yesterday. Thankfully today it's bright and sunny and perfect. So these guys, this class did have a wet warm-up this morning. So, you know, Greg, they had perfect weather all the way up to right before the start of their race yesterday. Then it rained, and then they had a wet warm-up as well. So I think we're going to have a few more people at the front.
I think so, yeah. And of course, it's like, what work did you do on Friday? And Saturday morning is what really is going to pay off here on Sunday afternoon. as race number 2 get ready to get underway.
I'm happy to see Bodie up there. It looked like yesterday he might have got his hand stuck on the bike, so we're ready to go here. Good to see the 65 on the front row.
13 laps scheduled for Talent Cup Race 2, and away we go. And yeah, you talk about Bodie Page. He sent the wheel in the air, but he got a really good launch nonetheless. He'll slide into second place as we bend her into turn number 1. Is it going to be the 59 who leads the way? 65 in second, and your pole sitter, Vossberg, on the 31 in third.
Yeah, Carson King there in fourth, so Carson will probably be a little bit happier with these weather conditions. And but Sam Drain gets the early jump. So we'll let the field kind of sort itself out, and we'll be able to get a little bit more of a running order once they come up over the brow of this hill, Greg.
For a moment there.
A try there, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, and he makes the pass. So Sam probably got pretty close to the paint there. Had to let off ever so slightly. So that's Bodie Page to the front.
So Bodie Page, Australian. Sam Drain, also an Australian. And then Hank Vossberg from Wisconsin. And for the first time, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team to this Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul, Jamie Howe.
Thanks, Greg. I was out on the grid talking to several of these riders just before the start, and I want to go to that battle between Hank Vossberg and Sam Drain. When you talk about second place in the championship point standings, with the win that Hank Vossberg was able to get yesterday, his 4th of the season, he has closed that gap down to just 4 points between the two of them. And I asked him, do you push the issue today? Do you go for those championship points? He said, I mean, if it's going to be clean, yes, but he's thinking risk versus reward. He said, I'm already locked in to the top 3 in the championship, and he doesn't want to hurt himself. Why? Because this week he gets the opportunity to go over for that Red Bull Rookies Cup Championship opportunity that he has worked so hard for this season. And he said, I'm going to be 100% when I leave to get there.
Well, 100%. He wanted to go to the front, and he got there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call on that one. But that's smart. I mean, that's when you think about that answer, nobody ever really remembers second or third anyways, do they, Greg?
Yeah,
so,
no, it's true.
So for him, as you see, Page takes a shot down the inside of 3, wasn't able to make it. But Vossberg, if he wins the race, which is what he wants to do, and Drain finishes second, he gets second in the points. So he's going to try to push it up the front the best he can. As you look back and you see this pass for the lead. Also, you can see everybody fanning out behind as well. But yeah, he gets to the front. Now let's see if he can pull the trigger. I don't think it's going to be easy to get away from 6 riders, is it? So we got Jake Page at the back of this group. So Jake Page doing a good job. Nate Betancourt, again, we saw Nathan yesterday doing really well in the wet. And he's positioned himself in a good spot there in 5th place. So we got 6-rider battle at the front at the moment.
Yeah, and we're getting close to that front straightaway, but this particular part of the racetrack, very interesting, kind of unique. And sorry, who'd you see up and out of
I saw Jake Page.
Up the inside goes Vossberg.
Pretty solid move there. I think he's not going to quite. Yep, Page didn't quite make it, but yeah, I saw Jake Page just get a little out of shape in the background there. Now let's see if Betancourt's going to get a 4-rider draft down this front straight.
Yeah, Carson King in a good spot.
Yes, he is.
The 32, starting from the front row out of Illinois, is on the Royalty Racing Machine. And is it going to be the 32 goes in the lead? Look at Betancourt. No. And so, all right, 2 positions then for the 99 with King on the 32 going 131.076. So far, the benchmark lap around this racetrack. We expect these times to continue to go quicker and quicker, but qualifying time was a 29.6 for the 31 who sits in 3rd place right now.
Yeah, and just like that, it looks like Vossberg gets pushed back to 3rd, 4th, maybe back to 3rd now as Betancourt is falling into place there in 4th spot. So
yeah, Carson King on the 32 up into 2nd.
Carson, we've seen Carson at the front a few times. He's put some really good rides in, so he's going to be motivated to try to win one of these things. As you see, the 32 looks extremely relaxed behind Sam Drain at the moment. So let's see, but again, Greg, we saw Betancourt go from 5th all the way up to 4th. Now it looks like he's been passed by Page as well, so he's back to 5th again. Look at Vossberg. He's going to try to roll around the outside of King, and he's going to make that pass stick. Wow, what a move.
Got a lot of confidence in the front end of this Kramer, without question. The APX 350 MA, a motorcycle that was made specifically for this class last winter. And here we are with these 50 horsepower machines in our final race, inaugural season for the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul. Onto the front straightaway we go again. This will be 10 laps to go. We'll see how they sort themselves out. It looks like the 59 hung out in no man's land on the right side of the track, and it's going to be Vossberg, the 31, who goes to the lead on the Tytler Cycle Racing Kramer machine.
So I just think it's a scenario that we're going to see for a bunch more laps. Don't you agree? I mean, we got 10 laps to go. We're going to see people just like trying to get in the positions that they want to be in. But, you know, Greg, this class specifically, you can be, you know, second, third, fourth coming out of that last corner and still be able to draft all the way to the line. So these guys are going to, it's kind of like a feel out process of where you think you might want to be at the end of the race.
So the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul is part of the Road to MotoGP, and basically what happens is one of the perks of racing this class is 5 riders are selected to go to the Red Bull Rookies Cup selection, and that's what Jamie was talking about earlier. So on their way is Sam Drain, Vossberg, Page, Ella Dreyer, and Kenzie Matsudayara. So those are the 5 from this class that get to go to Red Bull Rookies Cup selection. Here just a couple days, October 8th and 9th in Spain. Remember, though, there's 110 or 120 athletes they invite to this thing, so you still got to get there. Jamie, what do you think?
Well, you saw there at the bottom of the graphic that selection process, it begins that first week of October, but in terms of going over, there is a camp that takes place next week. You saw Bodie Page's name on that list as well there on the number 65, able to be aggressive here about the halfway point of this race. And for him, you mentioned the fact that he was injured yesterday. He was out on the grid, wouldn't even take his glove off of his left hand. I asked him how it was feeling, and he said it's really sore, but adrenaline is able to do some amazing things, and that's really what he's counting on to get to the checkered flag today.
Yeah, that's a good call. We saw it yesterday. I was really worried, Jamie, that he did some damage to that hand, and it's such a natural reaction when you have a kind of a slower type of crash to hold on to the bike, and you know, you see people, you know, get their fingers stuck underneath the bars or whatever. So I'm really happy to see Bodie battling the way he is, by the way, up at the front of this race, Greg. And you know, do you know where the tryouts are? Are they at Jerez?
No.
They're at a different place in Spain?
They're at a track that you and I actually haven't heard of in Spain, in Granada, Spain.
Okay, got it. So here's the crash yesterday. You know, low sides, losing the rear because it was wet, but he's kind of holding on to the bike. And, you know, he probably just kind of tweaked his hand or not exactly sure. But I was really worried here because he kind of got up, and then all of a sudden right there, I was like, uh-oh, that doesn't look so good. It looked like he really felt like he had a problem. And but obviously he's able to ride with that, especially with this big test coming up with Red Bull rookies. You want to be as healthy as you can. Carson King doing a good job here. He fell back a little bit. Now he's fought his way back there in that 4th spot. He's going to get a triple rider draft in front of him. That's going to help Carson draw up onto the back of those guys again, as well as the other 2 back there. You see Jake Page and Nathan Betancourt still doing their thing.
All right, so Vossberg to the front, just ahead of Bodie Page, who's on the Jones Honda entry machine, is the 15-year-old. Comes from a dirt track background, does the number 65. Can't wait to keep track of these young riders and find out what they're going to be doing in that Red Bull Rookies Cup selection process. But it looks like, Jay, maybe these front 2 starting to eke away a little bit.
Well, they're going to be trying to. They've both won races this year. The front 3, I believe, have all won races this year. So, you know, those are the ones that you would expect to take to the front with DeMario being gone. But I'm super impressed with the other 3 there. But right now, Hank Vossberg's leading, Jamie.
Aside from Alessandro DeMario winning those 7 races, it is Hank Vossberg there out front that's won more than the others behind him with 4 wins now on the season. But you talk about what their next step is going to be, and Hank Vossberg having turned, you see Bodie Page go wide here. Being able to save it, what a save for Bodie Page there as he gets back onto the racetrack. But on the case of Hank Vossberg, we got a taste of what is next for him in his career. When he turned 15 earlier this year, back at the end of June, he was able to, at the Ridge Motorsports Park, then move up to the Twins Cup category, the SC Project Twins Cup for the first time, and finish out the season in that category alongside Alessandro DeMario. Well, earlier today here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, he was able to take home his first win of the season in that category as well. So he brings a lot of confidence into the race here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, you know, we've seen him just mature as the year's gone, as it looks like now. Greg, with the mistake that Page just made, now he's opened up that battle for 3rd place, that podium battle, and it looks like Jake Page has taken that battle himself to get himself back up to those front two. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Bodie's, he's a little bit too far back, isn't he, Greg?
He is.
Almost 3 seconds behind these guys when they came across. He does have 7 laps to do it. If they trip each other up, it's going to make a difference, but the front two definitely are getting away.
I like what I'm seeing, though, from that young number 50. Just turned 14 years old. On that RoadRacingWorld.com Young Guns entry is Jake Page, of course, brother to Bodie Page. And so I like the Team RoadRacingWorld.com entry machine in his first race ever here in MotoAmerica in the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul. Well, it almost looks like the Bobby Fong 50.
Looks great, doesn't it? So he's doing a tremendous job here. You look on the left-hand side of your screen. This is the mistake that his brother Bodie made the last time. Got out on the paint. He needed a little bit more paint there, Greg, and he would have been okay, but it turned into grass. But he was able to get it handled pretty well. So now it's going to be up to Jake. You can see the front two guys just pull away in those second and third splits. The middle section of this racetrack here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. These two guys just get away a little bit quicker, and they're both on personal best lap times. The two leaders right now, we've gone red at a 30.3 and a 30.4, almost a full second quicker as Nate Betancourt now takes the fight to Jake Page. Not quite able to get there. But yeah, the front two, Greg, have literally just decided it's time to go. So
for Jake Page on that number 50 machine, the Road Racing World entry bike, that was Kenzie Matsudaira's bike from last weekend that found its way on the podium as well. So it'd be pretty incredible that this machine would find its way onto the podium, 2 different riders in 2 different weekends.
Yeah, no question. The other guy that was in the 30s that lap, Greg, was Cody Kopp back in 8th. So he's in a battle back there with Rossi Garcia and Ella Dreher, Derek Sanchez. They're all back there battling a little further back. But now
Betancourt.
Yeah, Betancourt goes through, and Carson King had a thought about it. So now all 3 of these are just battling for that final podium spot. Look at Bodie. He's still digging back there. Let's see what he did that last time by Bodie Page, 30.9. So he was 0.3 quicker than these guys up in front. So I think, Greg, with 6 to go, we're going to see the 65 make another appearance in front or with these 3 guys here.
Listen, we'd love to see it, but the other thing too is we don't know how much that hurt the hand of Bodie Page in that off-track excursion, using all the dirt track skills he has to save that motorcycle. So let's hope that Page is able to latch on the back of this last battle for the final podium spot between his brother Page, Betancourt, and King. Up to the front we go.
Sam Drain's done a good job here, Greg, of just
not letting him go.
Not letting him go, exactly. He's going to be able to draft past him here if he wants to on that Estenson Kramer. So as you see Sam Drain on the right part of your screen right now, he's not going to quite make it going that way as Hank Vossberg still holds on to that position. Looking at the lap times again, Bodie Page was the quickest, Greg, back there in 6th place, 30.3, almost a full second quicker than the 3 in front. So he should be well to get himself right on the back of them by the end of this lap, I would reckon, because he came across 1.3 back. There you go.
Yeah, but Betancourt is also kind of pushing the issue now, trying to create a little bit of a gap, and that is actually not going to work for the 65 as much as if those 3 started to, rub elbows and slow each other down. But 65 is so close to being there right now.
He is. He's
with,
there,
with 4.5 laps to go, he is ripping right now. Is Bodie Page.
Did his fastest first split of the lap here, so he's a half second quicker than the guys in front of him in the first split. Second split again. So Bodie Page on his fastest lap of the race. So we're going to have a 4-way battle for 3rd. And you can see up in front still Sam Drain sticking onto the back of Vossberg. I mean, great. 14 years old, Jake Page. I mean, 14, there was really nothing for us when we were a lot younger.
Without question.
Nothing on the national level, especially. A little look back at Ella Dreher and Cody Kopp here with Garcia.
The team MP13 able to get that bike back together yesterday in the rain. Off-track excursion for Dreher, and a very frustrating weekend for the 22 as Vossberg has a look over and sees, but Bodie Page, fastest lap of the race now, dipping into the 129 bracket. So 129.624, faster than pole position qualifying for the 65, who's now in the middle of traffic, trying to get around 4th position, up into 5th spot. Next on the hit list is the 32 of Carson King.
I mean, the 2 leaders, you could see him in the shot there just for a second, couldn't you?
Jake, can you imagine right now if you're Jake Page, your first race in MotoAmerica, and you're like, wow, I'm in a podium spot. They've gotten around me. I've been able to get around him again. Look at Carson King.
Good move for Carson there.
Oh, boy. Oh, and he almost takes his brother out.
Brotherly love right there between the 2. Now they're going to bump elbows all the way down to turn 6.
And the younger brother got the advantage. Nope, 65 gets around him.
He tried. He definitely gave it a go, didn't he?
He certainly did.
Yep.
Boy, if that could have ended up in tears, that would have been a rough place to be.
Yeah, Carson did a good job, and then Bodie thought, I'll go through as well. But Jake kind of was getting ready to turn his motorcycle in and found that red, white, and blue bike of his brother sitting right on the inside of him.
And all the while that's going on, there he goes, a 65 around the 32.
Look at the chatter. See him get in there too deep, and that thing starts chattering so bad.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so up to third place goes Bodie Page on the back of the fastest lap of the race at 29.624. Now we're going to be able to see what he did in traffic compared to the leaders when they come across the stripe. It'll be 3 laps to go. So out front, Vossberg goes 30.9 and 30.9. So Page was able to match their times, Jay, but having to slice through 3 riders to do it.
You're right, and he's got 3 laps to try to get there. And Sam Drain is taken to the head of the field. Vossberg looks over his shoulder, but doesn't really realize. Probably, I mean, you got to know that he doesn't know that Bodie Page ran off, and he's probably looking back thinking, okay, we got a huge gap, but Bodie's going to be trying to close this gap down. He goes almost a half a second quicker in the first split than the guys in front of him. 0.2 to Drain, but half a second quicker than Vossberg in that first split. Second splits will be coming up any minute now. So to give some perspective, Greg, he was 2.1 out of second place the last time through. So
Yamaha Blue Crew Estenson Racing rider 59 Sam Drain leading the way, not knowing that here comes Bodie Page, and we hear off in the background that an incident between Ella Dreyer and Cody Kopp possibly, as her weekend frustrations continue. But all eyes up front right now as we had Vossberg kind of looking around to see what the situation was. Yeah, there are those 2 riders.
Well, they're not punching each other, so that's a good sign, I suppose. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm trying to even see what corner that could be in. Ella looks like she might be in a little bit of pain. Vossberg goes through on Drain. So if that race right there, Greg, if that race would have ended there, that would have been the biggest photo finish ever. So 2/10 was only gained from Bodie. So pushed his own win back there now. It's going to make it a lot harder for him to close the gap to the 2 in front. But when I was looking out the window there, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who won that race when they came across. So
just for the record, it was Vossberg who was 0.019 seconds.
Wow.
So if that was a dress rehearsal in this situation, Vossberg would have taken the victory. But we have 2 laps to go, a little less than that at this point. Vossberg trying to pull the pin and get away from Drain. It's not working, at least not in this part of the racetrack. And Bodie Page looks like he's in the frame, and he goes down and tucks the front.
Is such a bummer.
Pushing so hard was Bodie Page, and unfortunately, this day not going well for the 65. He was riding hard.
Well, now those 3 got their chance again, don't they, to get on the podium.
The Betancourt we're talking about.
Exactly right.
The other Page and Carson King.
That's too bad. Bodie was riding really, really well. A couple small mistakes. You're going to see it here. He's trying so hard to close that gap, Greg, and is going to get into turn 5. He's going to start to get the bike turned in, and we've seen these bikes kind of notorious a little bit for their chatter. You can see it. There
chatter,
it is,
chatter,
right?
Chatter,
There's
bye-bye.
that chatter, and the thing's gone. You know, as a rider, you get used to riding with chatter when you know everybody else is trying to as well, but pushing that fact can sometimes lead to that. White flag. White flag is out. Here comes Vossberg across the line. He's going to lead doing a 31.3. Right behind, Nathan Betancourt has taken that 3rd spot, has the smallest of gaps over Jake Page and Carson King. So we'll see how that plays out. You can see as they go down into turn 1, Carson King 4th, Page 5th. These 2 are going to settle it out. I just feel, don't you feel like Sam Drain's just going to kind of sit there?
You know, I do on this one. And if he can get a good drive onto the front straightaway, he knew that Vossberg was able to get around him, and Vossberg knows the same thing. Like, you feel like Vossberg's a bit of a sitting duck right now.
Do you remember Vossberg and DeMario at VIR? Neither one of them wanted to lead. And I'm sure Hank's probably got that little bit of a feeling in his stomach again right now. Sam Drain, I think, is arguably the smallest guy in our class.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easy for him.
He gets into a good tuck.
He does. He's going to be able to get behind that fairly well. Look at Carson King pushing the fact now. He's closed that gap to Betancourt. So Carson King has done a nice job of closing up to the back to try to get that third place spot away.
And let's not forget, this is a bit of a battle. These two for second place in the championship. It's 4 points of difference. So if Vossberg wins, he'll take over second place in the championship by a single point over the 59 of Drain. So here we go. Last couple corners. Oh, a little bit of bobble.
He doesn't want to lead, Greg.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so. I almost think Hank for a minute there was hoping that he could lure Sam through. Let's see. He's far enough back where he could get a nice little slingshot here.
Here we go. The finish line awaits for the 31. Here comes the 59. Not enough time, and Vossberg wins by .039. And then for third place, it's going to be Betancourt by 0.2 of a second over Carson King. So well played for Vossberg, and just a little too much distance.
I thought he was
for
going to.
Drain.
Did you think he was going to get it?
I
thought he was going to get
he's
him.
just maybe a half a bike length too far back. But and only because Vossberg was getting monster drives as much as you can get on these bikes onto the front straightaway, I suppose. But yeah, look at it again.
Did a good job here. 31.6s, so that wasn't late. They were over a second slower than they had gone. And Vossberg, what a weekend for him. Great weekend for Hank.
Yeah, you can see right there's the finish, but then it's just moments after that Drain was able to get by. So wheel in the air. That'll send him off to Europe.
Hard to wheelie these things.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's hard to wheelie these things.
It's not easy. But for Vossberg, what a weekend.
Yeah,
what a weekend. Hashtag spoiler, so close your ears if you don't want a spoiler. But this is the third win for Vossberg this weekend. Pretty incredible. When we get back to New Jersey Motorsports Park, we're going to talk to the Wisconsin native about this.
What a race we had for the win there with Hank Vossberg and Sam Drain, and just as good a battle for third with Nathan Betancourt coming out on top. Barely missed the podium yesterday. Great to see him able to finish that race on the podium. Home crowd here. Got a lot of family and friends here, so that's great to see. But Hank Vossberg is just on a roll right now. Third win of the weekend. Played that race perfectly, and now he even ends up second in the championship as well.
Indeed, he had the target on his back, Hank Vossberg, but he did what he had to do.
It looks like he's grown in confidence over the weekend, and I'm sure, you know, in his other category, having Alessandro Di Mario as a teammate can only help kind of working together, learning from someone who has already won this championship as well. But so as you mentioned, Hank Vossberg, he takes second in the championship. Sam Drain, though, has had an excellent season. It just was perhaps the qualifying that held him back, because it meant that he started on the second row. But both today and yesterday, Sam Drain making it from the second row up to second place. So credit to him. What a learning experience for these guys. Shame about Bodie Page having yet another incident. We saw that he had that incident yesterday and was holding his arm. So a shame to see Bodie wobbling and tipping over slightly on the bike there.
I think the big thing with Sam Drain too is he doesn't have the experience. You know, a lot of these other guys don't have a lot of experience either, but for Sam, he's put himself in that spot, and now he's going to know what he needs to do next year when he's in that situation. And he, like you said, that the experience that he gained with drafting and what he needs to be on the last lap, and you see what it means to Nathan Betancourt's family.
Indeed. And what about that Jake Page and Bodie Page change of order? It's going to be an interesting car ride home, isn't it? But it was great to see those brothers battling out. So there you have it. Hank Vossberg takes the win. Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul is brought to you by Parts Unlimited, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket power sports parts and accessories. Parts Unlimited, we support the sport. By Motul, powering the future of racing. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
So back here at NJMP, the results, see that .039 of a second. Sam Drain almost with the perfect draft and pass, but not quite. Vossberg able to hold him off for the win. Betancourt again on the podium. Love to see that. Carson King from a front row start. Jake Page, welcome to MotoAmerica. Garcia, Sanchez, Fraley. And Jay, that was an awesome, awesome race. And if you're Hank Vossberg and you're headed off to Spain, I think it's a pretty good way to head on out, don't you think?
And he got second in points, I believe, isn't it? That helped him as well. So, yeah, what a way to go.
Let's get down to Jamie in Winter Circle.
by just less than 0.04 of a second. For the 5th time this season, Hank Vossberg is going home with a race win, and you did it to move yourself up into 2nd place in this overall season championship as well. You said you weren't sure you were going to put the risk out there. What gave you the momentum to do that?
Yeah, off the start, there was like 5 of us going at it, and yeah, I got to give up the props to Sam. He was keeping me honest the whole race, pushing, and had a couple moments out there and just had to remind myself last race this season, don't want to go total the bike. So yeah, can't thank this team enough. Full Tyler Cycle Racing crew, giving me an amazing bike to ride. Dunlop tires, HJC helmets, and Jake Smotter for all the help. And yeah, we'll see if we can go and do it in Spain.
Congratulations on the race win today and a solid into this 2025 championship season, one that Sam Drain has certainly fought through all year long. 9th time this season you've been able to stand up here on the podium. What are you going to take with you as you go forward now in the rest of your career?
This has been a good season so far. Had a good year all overall. Bodie was with us at the start, and he had a moment, and I think that's what split us up. And me and Hank running our own race, I looked back and there was nobody behind us, so I tried to sit behind Hank and get a draft on the last lap, but I ran a bit wide in that first part of the run to the straight, and I think that's what caused it. But hats off to Hank, and hopefully we can do good in Spain when we go over.
There's going to be a lot of good racing between these 2 young riders for years to come. Certainly respectable out there as well. As we move over to 3rd place, Nathan Betancourt was able to get his season best finish with that 4th place result yesterday, but ending it with your very first podium here in the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul. How do you put the emotion that you're feeling right now into words?
Oh man, at the start of the season I was like 12th, so after that I've just been putting in the work, training every day, you know, slowly moving forward, but coming to my home race, I kind of had to do it.
You certainly got it done today. Congratulations.
Good job by Betancourt, the pride of Mifflin. Good job. Let's take a look at these championship standings. We know that Alessandro DiMario wrapped up the championship a couple weeks ago at Circuit of the Americas, and that championship battle for 2nd and 3rd, 1 single point, as we now have a fierce lifetime rivalry between Vossberg and Sam Drain. Paige back there in 4th, and Ella Dreyer in her season here, able to wrap up 5th in the championship. So good job by Betancourt. He and Carson King battling all season in the points for 6th and 7th, and Sanchez in 8th place on the back of a big points haul for Sanchez yesterday with his podium finish. Julian Correa, of course, back and forth all season. But let's get back down to winner's circle with Jamie.
Alessandro DiMario not out there racing this weekend, but our champion for the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul 2025 championship season nonetheless. And for you, Alessandro, you came over. I know you watched the racing this weekend. You watched these young riders celebrate here this weekend. When you think about the future of road racing here in North America, what do you see from those that are coming up behind you?
I think it's great. There's a lot of kids with a lot of talent. I mean, I'm very happy for Hank. He was my teammate this year in Twins. So I was just watching the race actually. Right now I got dressed for the podium and then came to watch, and I saw he was first and he won, so I was super happy for him. And then yeah, I mean I just want to thank obviously the whole Warhorse HSBK team, obviously Geraldo and Bobby and everyone that's helped me out. And I mean all my sponsors, Dainese, KYT, Moto Liberty, just everyone. Thank you.
You've been in the MotoAmerica paddock for a number of years, of course, Junior Cup, Twins Cup as well. We know you're making the move up into Super Sport for the 2026 season. The experience that you've earned here over the last couple of years, how is it going to help you going forward?
Yeah, the Talent Cup especially has probably taught me how to, you know, we got into a lot of battles this year with a lot of riders at once, so I think those skills will translate possibly to Super Sport. And I mean, with Twins, it's a pretty similar bike. They're not too much slower, so I think that'll help out also. And I think, I mean, I'm super excited, and I just can't wait to get on the bike, get some time on, and see what I can do next year.
Seen you wear some bling from time to time around your neck. By winning this championship, you're also going to win a custom piece of jewelry, a ring or a pendant from Tom Duma Fine Jewelers of Ohio. You get to work with Tom yourself and customize that piece of jewelry. Have you given any thought to what it's going to look like?
My mom's probably not going to like this because she doesn't like gold at all. But I like gold. You guys can probably tell it's somewhere over here. But yeah, I've had my chain for like forever. And so, yeah, I'm going to see maybe what I can work with.
Congratulations to our 2025 Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul champion, Alessandro DeMario.
Hey, DeMario's going to do an 80s throwback. Maybe design that ring
gold,
with some gold and maybe the Italian horn.
Yeah.
I mean, why not do that?
He's a good kid, man. I
yeah.
really like him. It's going to be fun watching him next year in Supersport with that Ray Hall team. And it's going to be a nice step forward. And, you know, look, when you see Hank Vossberg do what he did, it's a lot of fun this year watching this class. Nate Betancourt, like he said, I started 12th at the beginning of the year. Look where he's at in his home race.
Yeah.
What a great way to end the season. A lot of fun.
Can't wait to see who's going to be in this category. Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul next season. And also tip of the cap to DeMario for getting dressed and coming to the podium on his big national championship. So Alessandro DeMario is your #1 plate. He's off to Supersport. We can't wait to see what this class does in 2026, and we hope to see you then. For Jason Jamie, I'm Greg. Bye.